Well, I do agree that the way it was reported initially is not reflective in anything that I've been able to see in my review, yes. I do agree that perhaps the person who took the steps to film it, and perhaps Mr. Cole themselves, didn't have the full information. That the male was aggressively panhandling several people, including reaching into females' wallets and taking money, taking a cigarette from another female passenger, and then ultimately assaulting by an officer by kicking the officer in the head. This is a young lady that's sitting here. She does take out her wallet. Unfortunately, to protect her identity, you're not able to see a lot of it. This is the one where he's going to reach into her wallet. There is a customer tweet that was in response to Mr. Cole's post, where you actually see the customer saying, "You only posted half of the story. He was threatening sex acts on the females and reached into her purse."
Well, I mean, I guess the concern is that we would want to be the first to know if there was a question as to our officers' behavior, and here we are learning about it after somebody's pontificating about it on the radio. So when you watch Desmond's video with the sound, the person videotaping makes a reference or accuses the officers of carding while they're wrestling with this individual on the ground, which to me indicates what perhaps her thoughts were about the altercation, that it was some sort of bias of the officers against the accused.
One of the officers was kicked in the head and then again kicked in the hand. And the officer did not react to that other than continue to try and bring the male into control. So the kick is about to come. There's kick in the wall, and you're going to see the light come up and hit the officer in the head area, right there. He is under investigation at this point. So the officer knows that he recognizes him from what was a previous release of information that this individual was wanted. He doesn't know whether that warrant has been executed or not from the past. And he's not telling him who he is, so nothing's matching up in the CPIC information system and the checks that the officer is doing. So he knows that he's lying. He just can't get to the heart of who he truly is. The officer didn't have knowledge in his mind that I recognize this male from somewhere. He may have at that point said, even though I can't establish who you are, just go. But because he knows he recognizes this face and nothing's matching up, I know that you were the focus of a bulletin I've read with my own eyes, but I can't remember the name and the details. And the name you told me, they don't match, so that I can reconcile that. That's what the officer's focused on at this point.
So they did try to escalate, tried to de-escalate, they tried to figure out a solution for it, some other way to resolve this. They can't even, without an ID, you can't ticket someone.
So there is the individual that does end up filming it. It's probably noteworthy that she was not at the station for any of the aggressive behavior that was occurring. So she arrives at the station and would see what just appears to be a vulnerable person sitting peacefully on the bench and not bothering anybody with 3 officers standing around. It's late at night on a Sunday evening, and this is families and women, and we saw the individual go up and interact with women that they themselves need to be welcoming on the transit system. The officers are extraordinarily good at striking the balance that they need to strike, and it's not easy, and it's especially not easy when you're being filmed the entire time. And I don't say that as a criticism of being filmed, but it's not an easy job, and it's not an easy situation to be dealing with people that are vulnerable. So setting aside the very genuine discussion about how does law enforcement and officers interact with people who are vulnerable and have mental health act issues, which is a genuine debate to have, once they placed the individual under arrest and he resisted and became assaultive, the officers have to protect him and themselves. I found that the officers' actions were completely lawful, and I have no concerns.